Hey guys, welcome back to Damaged Goods with No Regrets. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the interview that Candus Bly and Don Wells had with the body language experts. I'm going to go over a couple of the questions they were asked, the way they responded, the conclusions that the body language experts came up with, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on each subject. So first question that I wanted to talk about was when the body language experts had asked Don how he responds to people who are continuously accusing him and his family of being guilty for the disappearance of Summer. His response was, I spent a lot of time and hours on Facebook and social media reaching out to people to try to get in touch with anybody who could possibly help me find the whereabouts of my daughter. All he wants is to reach as many people as possible to be able to bring her home. Originally, the body language experts had said that they thought he was avoiding the question. Then they later on came up and said that they didn't think he understood the question. My thoughts on the situation is, I have seen many people over the years, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, on social media, if somebody goes missing, whether it's an adult or a child, a male or a female, they'll post pictures, phone numbers, they'll beg everybody and anybody, if you've seen this person, please call us, we're trying to find our family member. A lot of times there's a reward offered, sometimes there's not. So I do not think that he was avoiding answering the question. I'm not really sure if he was confused about how they expected him to answer the question. I just think the way he processed the question in his head was aiming more towards what he does on Facebook, because he said that there were a lot of groups that were being very rude and accusing him of the disappearance of his daughter. So I think that's where he came up with the social media answer, because the only real experience he had with the accusations were on Facebook. I could be wrong, but I do know that one way that many people try to reach out and find their missing family member is by going through social media, because you don't reach one or two people, you'll reach millions of people. And I think that is honestly how he thought and felt about that situation, about the question and the way he answered it. I think it was his honest answer. Another situation that was brought up is they mentioned he always talks about Summer being abducted and has mentioned that she was missing and that he wanted to find his daughter. Well, during the interview with the body language experts, he had mentioned that his daughter was kidnapped. The body language experts had said when they hear the word kidnapped, they automatically assume that there's a ransom or a trade involved. They said it's not the same thing as abducted, missing, or lost. Now, I think that when I hear the words so-and-so is missing or so-and-so is lost, that it could possibly be that person has run away. When I hear the words abducted or kidnapped, to me, I don't think about a ransom or a trade. I honestly think that they mean the same thing to me. I would never think that, oh, you said kidnapped, so there has to be a ransom, or oh, you said abducted, so, it's an innocent answer or idea as far as what happened to this person. I honestly wouldn't think twice about hearing the words abducted or kidnapped and assuming that there may or may not be a ransom involved. I wouldn't think that using the word kidnapped would automatically point fingers at him to knowing something differently about the situation. The body language experts had mentioned that there was rapid blinking and a lot of eye movements during the interview, and that they said that the eyes going in different directions and the rapid blinking often show signs of guilt. And it shows that, they're nervous, they're stressed out, and there could possibly be another reason behind those eye movements. I, for one, know that when I talk to people, if you ask me a question, I might look up or down. I might pause and look to the side before I answer the question, depending on if I have to think about my answer. I don't always just look straight at you. I always seem to use my eyes a lot when I'm talking to people. So I wouldn't look at you and think because your eyes are moving around or you blink a little bit more than normal that it shows sign of guilt. However, the body language experts said that that is a key sign that there's something going on, and I found that to be quite interesting. I'm not sure if I was in that situation how I would be under a stressful situation or a very emotional situation. I might be moving my eyes around a lot. I might be blinking a lot. I might act in ways that point the finger that I could very well be guilty, but it's just a natural, normal reaction from me as far as the way my body language is. So there were 3 questions that Candus was asked. They asked her, "Did you do anything to Summer?" And she said no. They asked her, "Do you know what happened to Summer?" And she said no. They asked her, "Do you know who would want to hurt your family?" And Candus kind of paused a little bit and then whispered the word no. They said that it's fading facts, and that there was something behind the reason as to why she answered the first 2 questions with a bold no and the last question with a whispered no. I think, in my mind, the idea that someone I know could possibly want to hurt my family in such a way that they kidnapped one of my children would be very hard to think about, and I think that it's possible that she just got very emotional and it was very hard for her to think about that, and that's why she whispered no under her breath. I could be wrong about that. I don't know how I would answer the question, but I know that would be a very hard answer to give, for me anyway. So they had asked Summer, "Is there any reason anyone would want to hurt your family?" And she said, "Not that I know of." Then they asked her, "What should happen to the person that did this to your family?" And she paused and closed her eyes for a second before she answered, and she said that they should be put away for life and they should be tormented. They said that she had elevated breathing, and she is unsure as to whether or not she should answer that question or how she should answer that question. I think that it would be a very hard question for her to answer, possibly, because what do you want to happen to somebody? I mean, yeah, I'd want them to go to jail for life. I would want them to go through hell. But in her head, maybe she was just too emotional at that time giving that answer out. I'm not sure what she was feeling and thinking. As far as the elevated breathing, it could be that she was fighting back tears. I know when I hold back tears, a lot of times I will breathe a little bit heavier than normal. And, the stress from the emotions and the overwhelming need and want to cry sometimes will get to you and cause you to close your eyes for a few seconds before answering a question, or breathe heavy, or do whatever you can to try to keep your composure. So I'm not really sure what the significance between closing your eyes before answering a question and elevating breathing really is when it comes to a case where they're investigating people on a missing person. But I think for myself, I would probably do the same exact thing because I would be under a lot of emotional stress. Another question that was brought up was when the body language experts had asked Candus about the Cornbread Mafia. They mentioned this group to Candus and Don and had asked if it was possible they had anything to do about it. At this point, Candus starts crying and she starts to take off her mic, and she says, "I can't do this anymore. I want to leave." And she proceeded to take off her microphone, get up, and leave. The body language experts said that at this point, because of the way she acted, that she, instead of making it all about Summer, turned around and made it all about her, and that it didn't seem to them as though she was really putting into all the effort that she should be to try and help find her daughter and get to the bottom of things and answer the questions and get some answers. I'm wondering if the idea of some drug ring, gangster group of thugs, Cornbread Mafia or any mafia or gang, I'm wondering if the idea of one of those types of people and groups having her child was just too much for her to bear. It was an emotional overload, and I wonder if that's what caused her to act that way, because she just couldn't stand the idea of her child being with a group like that. I know that would be very hard for me to talk about. I know it would be very hard for me to digest and really let absorb into my head, and I think that I probably would not have walked off stage, but I definitely would have probably started crying very hard at the idea that these people could be involved in this situation. So I'm not really sure if she was making it all about herself and avoiding trying to find the answers and get down to the bottom of things, or if she just was overloaded with emotions and just had to escape for the time and catch her breath and just catch her composure. I'm not sure what the right or wrong answer to that question is, or if how she reacted was right or wrong. I'm just thinking that if it was me, I could quite possibly have acted the same way. I don't know. I don't think I would run off stage, but I definitely think that that idea of an organization like that having my child would break me down, and I would be hysterical crying. The body language investigators said that Don had complete trust in them and had no problem talking to them and answering all their questions, but Candus didn't trust them, and they think that had a lot to do with the way she reacted. They also were talking about when Summer went missing. On the day she went missing, Candus went in the house, asked the kids where Summer went. The boys said that Summer went downstairs. So she went downstairs, looked for Summer, and she couldn't find her. So she sent the boys outside to look. And she was running around the house, inside and outside, looking for Summer. And the body language experts and Dr. Phil had said that they found it quite odd that she waited 3 to 5 minutes before calling Don and telling him that Summer was missing. I know from experience from having kids that sometimes when they're young, they like to play hide and seek without telling anybody that they're playing hide and seek, and I'm just supposed to figure out where the heck they are. I'm not going to say it's not a stressful situation, because I have on many times had to run around frantically looking for my child until I finally found him. And there's been times that he would hide so long waiting for me to find him that he'd fall asleep. So it wasn't always, the most calm situation. It was very nerve-wracking, but, within 5 to 10 minutes, I'd always find him. Whether he was in the backyard, we had a lot of property at the time, or if he was in the house. I'd be going upstairs, downstairs, and everywhere in between trying to locate where my very young son at that time was. And I don't think that waiting 3 to 5 minutes and sending her sons out to look in the yard for Summer is as big of a deal that they are trying to make it out to be, because I have done that before, searching for my child who was secretly playing hide and seek. If every time that had happened, I automatically picked up the phone, called my husband, called the cops, said my kid was missing, I can't find them, it'd almost be like crying wolf, to be honest with you, because the child's there, I just have to find him. So I think that possibly in Candus's situation, that she was just like, okay, we're going to look around really quick. Oh crap, it's been 5 minutes, we can't find her anywhere, we have to start calling people. So that's what I think about what had been going on with Summer at that time. She was outside somewhere, they thought playing hide and seek or playing in the yard, and Candus was running around looking for her with her sons. And I think that's why she wanted to make sure that Summer was not there before she alerted everybody that something was going on and that Summer was missing. So that's what I think about that situation. Anyway, I want to thank you guys all for coming over, stopping by, and watching the video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Oh, by the way, give me your opinions and thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys and see what you guys think about everything that we talked about today. Have a great day.